Hi, I'm Darlene Heater, and I'm here to talk about school performance in Tennessee. We all want our child to attend a good school, but how can we really know how good our child's school is? And how can we find out which schools are the best? Most people think that the best schools are the ones with the highest achievement test scores on tests like the TCAP here in Tennessee. But there's a much better gauge of school quality that parents should know about. It's called value-added gain. Value-added gain doesn't show a school's average test scores like the TCAP does. Instead, it shows you how much a school is doing to increase student learning, and that's an important difference. Schools can have high test scores simply because they have a high percentage of well-prepared students. By the same token, schools can have low test scores because their students face challenges that have nothing to do with the education they're receiving. Value-added data shows how well a school is helping its students to be all they can be. Rather than show you where students are, it shows you how far they've come. It tells you whether the well-prepared student is coasting or if she's being challenged to meet her potential. And it tells you whether an at-risk student is catching up or falling further behind. Value-added data comes from the Tennessee Value-Added Assessment System, or TVAAS. TVAAS tracks each student's year-to-year progress, and from that, it can tell you whether they are gaining more, less, or about the same amount of learning as in past years. Good schools are the ones where annual student gains are equal to or greater than past gains, and the best schools are the ones where typical students significantly outperform their previous year gains. These are schools that are having a real impact on student learning. Here's how it works. We take a student whose test scores were here and here over the last 2 years. If he continues learning at the same rate, he will progress to here by the end of the coming year. If instead he actually gets to here, we can credit effective schooling with that increase. If he actually performs below what we expect, we can assign responsibility to the school for that as well. If you do that across all the students in a school, you can see how much a school is helping its students become the best they can be. And it becomes clear that some schools are helping their students much more than others. TVAAS scores are available to the public from the Tennessee Department of Education's website. However, those scores don't mean much unless you have something to compare them to. And that's why the Education Consumers Foundation created interactive online school performance charts for elementary and middle schools in Tennessee. These charts make it easy to see how well schools are performing compared to others in the district or state. Let's take a look. This chart has a vertical bar for each of Tennessee's 746 elementary schools, at least the ones that have been open long enough to produce TVAAS scores. There is a similar chart for middle schools, and both are available on the Foundation's website. You can see this line across the middle. That's the average one-year achievement gain in 1998, the year the minimum standard was set. Tennessee uses it as a benchmark for judging the effectiveness of each school. The bars represent student achievement gains in reading and math. The further the bar extends above the benchmark, the more the school is adding to its students' reading and math scores as compared to the minimum. The bars that extend below the benchmark are schools where students are failing to gain even the minimum. And you can see that the schools are ranked by their level of effectiveness, with the most effective schools shown here on the right in green, and the least effective schools shown here on the left below the line in red. The colors represent the letter grades assigned to the school by the Tennessee Department of Education. Notice that even among schools earning an A, some are producing far greater learning gains than others. So how can you see how well your school is doing in educating your child? Click the Select Schools button, and up comes a list of all the districts in the state. Suppose your child goes to a school in Davidson County. You can either scroll down the right-hand part of the window or just click the letter D at the bottom. Now we see Davidson County and a list of all the schools. If you want to see where all the schools in Davidson County fall on the chart, click Davidson County. You can see that they span the entire chart, with some of the most effective and some of the least effective schools in the state. We can select a handful of schools to see how effective they are in comparison. Let's pick Alex Green and Andrew Jackson. And then scroll down a bit to Cotton Elementary. It's pretty easy to see which schools are more effective than others. Let's suppose that you want to know the names of the schools that are above Cotton Elementary. Just move your cursor over the icons to the right of Cotton, and you'll see the names of the higher performing schools. Again, I want to make clear that the TVAAS data shows how effective a school is in helping a student learn. It does not show their average level of academic achievement. Most Tennessee parents are already familiar with the scores from the Tennessee Comprehensive Assessment Program, or TCAP. TCAP tells you whether students meet the achievement or proficiency standards set by the state at each grade level. But TCAP scores don't tell you how effective a school is at getting students to learn. Student performance on TCAP is influenced mostly by the talents and the background of the students that happen to be enrolled in that year, not by the school's effectiveness in raising achievement. In essence, a school's TCAP scores tell you about its student body, but its TVAAS scores tell you about the effectiveness of its teaching. Now let's look at a couple of other features of the school performance charts. We still have the Davidson County schools showing up on the chart with the schools we picked still highlighted. Remember that the line across the chart is the 1998 growth standard. It's pretty clear that most schools in Tennessee are performing above that level, so it may be more helpful to compare them against the current average. So let's go over to the legend, and next to current state average, click Show. Now we can see how these schools compare to other schools across the state and not to a historical benchmark. Finally, let's look at a different school district to get a sense of how value-added data can be used to improve school performance. We'll clear off the current view list first, and then go down to Knox County. Let's select the district to see how their schools perform. As you can see, schools in Knox County skew strongly to the right of the chart. This is because Knox County embraces the value-added achievement system and actively uses it to track and address student achievement on an ongoing basis. The results are clear. Tennessee is fortunate to have the most advanced value-added assessment system in the country. We invite you to explore these charts yourself so that you can see where your local schools fall among others in your district or in the state. Just go to www.education-consumers.org and you'll find a link at the top to the Tennessee Project, which gives you access to the elementary and middle school charts. You'll also find more information on TVAAS and value-added data, along with information on the Foundation's Value-Added Achievement Awards, which recognize the top performing principals and schools in the state. We believe that every school can be a great school. The top performers on our chart make it clear what's possible. If every school in Tennessee was as effective as these top performers, we would have the best education system in the country. We hope you'll join us in raising awareness of school effectiveness in Tennessee by sharing this information with others and by learning more about school achievement at the Education Consumers Foundation website. For more information, visit www.education-consumers.org.